What's shaking, guys? Luke Dancy here. We are here today with Mr. Peter Eggink. Peter Eggink, all the way from Holland. He's live with me. It's almost 9:30 at night, so give him some love today. We are going to talk to him in 3, 2, and 1. Peter, what's up, man? How you doing?
Hey, look, I'm doing good.
All right. It is good to have you
Nice
here.
Always nice to see you again. So,
Yeah,
so what
dude.
time is it over there? I mean, you're in Vegas right now.
Yeah, I think you are about 9 hours ahead of me, so it's about
Wow.
12:30 in the afternoon. Yeah.
All right, so you do better than me. Okay.
A little bit. Trying to anyway.
All right. Hey, good to see you. Good to see
Yeah,
you.
man. This is gonna be a good one. You know, we got a bunch to talk about. I was letting the guys know before we did this. We're gonna talk about creating magic. You know, a lot of people want to do it. I know a lot of people also have a lot of questions. You're a guy that's been there and done that, so maybe we could get in your head a little bit. Also, trying to get a little bit of the reality behind being a magic consultant. It's kind
Right.
of a sexy thing to talk about, but do people really know the truth about it? We're going to shed some light on that. And you've been involved in some products recently too. I'd like to pick your brain a little bit about those things. So why don't we kind of start with what have you been up to? What's Peter Eggink been up to these days?
Well, I've been, still creating magic because that is my love. Besides for performing magic, that's one of the it all makes started. But creating magic is something that even I can help it. It just flows that way, and I like to express myself in an artistic way, and it happens to be creating magic tricks.
Sure.
So so I've been recently come up with a couple of things that are about to come, and I have this new label coming up. We used to do Magic from Holland, which is Ron from Magic Shop, and me. Recently we revamped it, and after the huge fire Ron had at the Magic Shop,
Terrible, man. Terrible.
there was a huge disaster. But the good news is it's almost rebuilt. So I think in January he's going to reopen, and it's going to be an amazing magic shop, with all secret doors and bookshelves and stuff. It's going to be a great experience.
That's cool, dude.
Yeah, it's going to be great. So, but now we have this label. It's called Deceptive Dreams, and under this label we produce magic that we think is going to be killer. That has visual stuff, cool gimmicks, and so recently I've come up with some, not only per se my tricks, but also stuff from other magicians and creators that we produce because we think that should be brought to daylight. I think one of my own tricks that's coming up. I hope it's going to be probably not this Blackpool, but after Blackpool. And I think I showed you the video, Luke, like quite recently.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think you were the first to get a sneak peek. So that's what I've been doing, and I've been done some consulting for a magic TV show from my friend Christian Farla, which was a kind of new thing to me, but that was really fun to do. And magic for TV is totally different than performing magic in real life for people. And you know the drill. I know what you've done, also for Chris Angel and stuff. But it's rather difficult to make something because making TV is such a different expertise than just doing a magic trick, because you have to guide the camera. The lens is determines what you see, and you have to make advantage of the camera. But you want to have one takers and still be fair and still do some cool magic. So it's that was a kind of new experience for me because I was asked to do it, and what you try to do is just to make a cool magic show with nice magic that isn't just another magician doing a trick on the street, but you wanted to make it big and huge for television. You want to make it something special that he is the only one who can do this on TV. Mm-hmm. So the thing is to make it huge and big, and we try to stay away from the card tricks. No card tricks, as less as possible. Just organic stuff. And that was kind of a challenge. That was the word I was looking for. It was kind of a challenge for me as well. But we did pull it off, and So that was quite a fun ride for me to do as well.
Sweet. Now, let
So
me
that
ask
was
you a serious question. I'm going to cut you off right there
sure.
because
Yes.
most of the people watching have heard what a magic consultant is, but can you actually tell them what a magic consultant actually does? And that's definitely a topic that I know people are interested in. It sounds very sexy. Oh man, like magic consultant, I want to do that one day, but a lot of people don't even know what that really means. Why don't we kind of shed some light on that?
Well, I can only talk from my
Sure.
experience, and
Okay.
what I did is, I was doing at one point. I was not tend to do the scripting, but I was doing the scripting for the scenes that we were going to shoot. So it makes sense why you are visiting that guy or famous person that you do magic to. So it becomes personal. So you try to personalize the magic. So I was doing the scripting. Then I was doing on the set. I was the guy that snug away with doing all secret stuff and make sure that Christian becomes the hero of the show. So it's not only trying to say, okay, this is the list of tricks. I think that's cool and that's cool, that's cool. No, but I was doing the scripting. I was doing on the set, trying to make him look good. And doing, and even doing directing. So to tell the camera people because camera people are camera people. They just film what they think they should be shot. But in the edit, they have no idea whether you're flash or not. Because I've seen the footage come back to me, the proofs,
Sure.
and it was flashing all over because they just don't see it.
They don't understand. They know how
They
to
don't.
shoot, but they don't know how to shoot magic. There's a
They don't
difference.
understand magic.
Exactly.
Magic for TV. They understand TV, but magic for TV is a totally different piece of cake.
Yep.
So that, from my experience, that tells me that a lot of people have no idea in TV what they're talking about. As it comes down to doing magic for TV, they have no idea what they're talking about. And that was true, So the first crew was fired, and then we had a second crew on board.
Oh wow.
I was getting along with those as well, but they didn't understand how to make things big, and how to make it good looking for TV.
Sure.
But it's more than just giving. Hey, this is a set of tricks. This is you can do.
I wish.
It's a wish. It's just making the list.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
But it's doing the whole thing behind the scenes on the set. A lot of things. And creating and designing the whole routines, the scripting, and it's almost everything that you do. Yeah, I didn't expect it to be that way. It's fun though, but it eats up all of your time, and it's very time consuming. But if it works, it's very satisfying in the end as well.
That is something else I'm glad you said about the time consuming part, because I want you guys to hear this loud and clear. If you think that it's like fun and games, shooting a TV show as a magic consultant, get ready for long days, as Peter is aware. Get ready for days where you may not get a real meal, and a lot of stress because you're under time constraints where you have to have stuff done because it costs a lot of money to have a TV production behind you. TV cameras, camera guys, audio guys, producers, directors, that all costs money.
Yeah.
And I know Peter just finished up doing some of this, and I'm sure afterwards you needed like a freaking vacation because it'll exhaust the heck out of you, man, as a consultant on set trying to do all this, especially if it's just a couple guys trying to do it all yourself,
That's it. So you have a TV crew, and then you have because they thought that Chris was able to do real magic. So when they say, okay, well, you can make a helicopter appear. So the TV crew said, okay, just make a helicopter appear. And then Chris said, well, no, it can't be done. We need kind of like of a black box or a backdrop. So they really thought he could make a helicopter appear just in the middle of the street.
Yeah.
And we have to explain them that we need certain circumstances to pull this off. So they have no idea how magic works.
Yep.
Yep. And even for doing street magic, the way how it was filmed, you need to really go in there with the camera and to make them feel the magic at home.
Sure.
And there was, the first footage I had was more like a registration of someone doing table magic. It was not, you was not able to feel the power of the magic. But it was pure the way how it was shot. They didn't have any clue how to do it. But yeah, long days, from early in the morning to late night, and then hopefully you got 3 effects on camera roll, and they were ready to go. And
yep. Yeah, you have to do it. There are real deadlines when it comes to that stuff. There is no, oh, we'll try again tomorrow. Sometimes that's
Yeah,
not
and
even
then
in
you,
the.
and then you figure out everything, and the people that have no idea what they're talking about,
Yeah,
those TV people,
yeah.
they come and they say, okay, no, 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 we don't do that. I don't like that. No, I don't like that. I don't like that. I thought about this for 2 days. I scripted it. I did all the work,
Yeah.
and then someone that has no idea what they're talking about is saying to me that no, I don't like that. It's not about you. It's about what the people at home, what people like,
Hmm.
your personal interest. I mean, so I had to fight those people as well. Egos. You have to be magic in TV world. Wow, it's all about ego. It's because they think they are the most important people in the world. Well,
Yeah, dude, there's a lot to it, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. And if you guys have any other questions about Magic Consulting, Peter's very experienced with it. I've been there and done some
well,
myself.
you too. I
So
mean, you've done Chris Angel stuff, and
yeah, it's fun.
so how was it for you? Yeah, fun, right?
Oh, dude, I, I
Well,
I I wish we were still doing it. And every time I see Chris, we always talk about the old times because it's intense. But if
yeah.
you go into it knowing it's not going to be easy, and it's going to be stressful, and if you manage
Mm-hmm.
those expectations, you'll be fine. But if you go into it
Mm-hmm.
thinking it's going to be like, especially coming out to Vegas to do it, if you think it's just going to be partying and having fun all the time, you got another thing coming. It is the furthest thing from being a party. I'll tell you that much. So
Yeah, right.
yeah,
I got you.
but
Yeah.
um, also, a lot of it also, guys, we're talking today about consulting, but also creating. And of course,
Mm-hmm.
going with the consulting part comes to creativity. You have to help create for the show, whether it's your own material or taking material that exists and
Yeah.
trying to make it work for TV. I know I saw some guys earlier talking about, when it came to crediting. Why don't we talk about that? Because not necessarily for TV, but when it comes to stuff in the marketplace, the number one thing I always want people to understand is you always should try to know what's come before and at least make sure you're not stepping on someone else's toes. So why don't you kind of talk about crediting a little bit? And then we'll actually talk about one of the tricks that you helped out with recently called
Yeah.
Abandoned. So that's a good kind of
Yeah.
segue for that. Yeah.
Well, I'm all about ethics as it comes down to magic and crediting because I think it is very important.
Yeah.
But sometimes you just don't know because if you have an original idea that you created yourself, then you can show to some magic friends, some notable magicians, to see, if they had seen it before. This is what I do. I have some friends around me, so I'm blessed with those people that I've been around the block, so I showed it to them. But at least I know it is my independent creation because I don't read magic books in a way of getting inspired about ideas. So anything that I come up with has to be original. Maybe I reinvented the wheel. Of course, it can happen, but at least I thought of it myself. It came out of my inner,
Yep.
and it is my original idea. So that is something to say for. And the second thing is, has it done before? So what you do is, of course, you're going to ventilate your idea to guys like you, and show to Patrick and Murphy's, and so
Sure.
a good friend of mine, Mark Starworth, who has been around the block for many years, working at JB Magic in his beginning years. So yeah, I show those people, and when they say, "Wow, that's good," but again, there's nothing new under the sun. There are only a few things that you can do in magic. You can make things appear, disappear, change color, levitate, and teleport. With those 5 things, you have to make magic tricks. But it's all about the combination of methods and presentational hookups that create something new.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and hopefully no one has thought of it. I mean, it's what I did Haunted, for example, with Paul Harris.
Oh, it's so good, dude. The Haunted deck. Yeah, so good.
Yeah, I mean, it was all done by threads and stuff before, and Al Baker came up with it like I think it was in the 30s or 40s. I mean, he started it, and they called the deck that cuts itself.
Yep.
That was it.
Yep.
Beautiful illusion, and you have the version with the wire, where 3 cards pop out. It was a beautiful thing. But then I came up with this method that was a combination of a couple of methods. Something I saw in Italy and something I know for myself, and I combined it. And then I had this new method for a plot that is not mine, So I don't take credit for the haunted deck, but the method, the combination made it unique in combination with the plot, So, I showed it to Paul Harris, and he said, well, that's, if that's not done with strings, that's darn sexy. And I showed him the method, and then he said, well, that's darn sexy.
Love it.
And
that's right.
And then from there, but then again, It's not my plot, it's not my idea. It's just a method for the existing thing, and happened to be original at that point, because I know that one part of the gimmick was used in a lot of other effects, but just a combination of those two things made it different enough to call original, But then just before we released it, just some guy in a cafe saw it, and he released a version of it just prior to our version with Paul Harris, because I posted the video, he saw it, and he probably figured it out how it works, and then he posted a video of the gimmick, and in his video he stated, I invented this on this date,
Oh, whatever.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, there are a lot of mean people as well in the business. I mean, people that are not straightforward. So be careful how you show, to who you show your creations to. And again, but yeah, creating, but I try to do as best as I can as for crediting. Yeah.
Yep, and that's with us being in such a small community, it speaks volumes. People notice when you don't do the right thing, almost more than if you do the right thing, because people talk, word gets around. So yeah, what?
Yeah. Well, sometimes not intentional. Well, I mean,
sure.
I mean, it could happen that that you really genuinely don't know that has been done before in some magic book in the 1900s, and then you can say, well, it has happened before to people, and then you say, okay, I'm sorry, I didn't know, and they pull it back from the market, and it's a done deal. Yeah.
Absolutely. So, guys, if you have questions about this stuff, we've got three main things we're talking about today. One, being a magic consultant. We've both been there. If you have questions, Peter's just fresh off of some, so I'm sure he would love to talk more about that. Also, when it comes to creating your own magic, if you have questions about that, we're here to try to help you out with that too. Peter has a lot of bestsellers on the market. CTC Project was one of the things everyone was talking about at Blackpool this year, early in 2019. And he's also got his hands in some other things he's up to. And he's also worked with some people on some things too, which leads us to our third point. There's been a couple new products that have popped up that you're involved in. You've got some thoughts on, one of them being Abandoned, which I think I have the image for right here. There it is.
Yep. This is by Dennis Ransma. And well, this guy came in, runs magic shop, and it's not that I own a magic shop, but to be clear on this one, that Ron has a magic shop, and I'm doing the creative producing part of, I try to scout tricks. I try to create nice original stuff for this label. Mm-hmm. So we really closely work together. So I was popping in magic shop every week, and we're doing some shootings and some designing. And then this guy came in, Dennis, and he had a very cool way of retrieving a card from a closed card box. You just show a deck of cards, card have been chosen, it goes into the pack, into the box, you put it in your pocket, and boom, there's your card. Perfect for loading a card into a wallet. So then both Ron and I saw this, and and we did see the potential. So I put my teeth in it, and Ron as well, and we designed some killer routines with this gimmick. And we have this guy Quentin at Magic Shop, and he redesigned the gimmick as well.
Oh, cool.
So he made the gimmick even cooler and nicer. So it looks really beautiful. So what people have in their hands today is a really fine-tuned gimmick. And initially it was designed to retrieve a card.
Okay.
But the core effect that we thought would be cool was doing any card at any number. Mm-hmm. And in the demo, which we're going to hopefully show you later, you see those two dice rolling, and then a Philly number is chosen, and you count down from the top of the deck. And at that number, your prediction is showing, or the signed card, whatever you want. So it's a very, it's like a secret weapon. You can carry this with you as your normal tuck case. Mm-hmm. It's very comfortable, no thick, bulky gimmicks, just a case. But it does the job really well. I think for a really good price, you can do numerous of routines, from retrieving a card, adding a card. Yeah, we
Why
kind
don't
of
we?
liked it.
Yeah, why don't we show the trailer? I've actually got it queued up
It's
here. I've seen a couple guys asking if we've shown it already or if we will. Anything you want to say about it before I do this? I know you were kind of describing it there. You want me to just go ahead and run it, or anything else you want to say real quick?
no, sure. I think
Cool.
it's better than the words. Yeah, just run it.
Okay, cool. Well, guys,
Okay.
if you haven't seen this yet, get ready. This is good stuff. You will see this guy, not me, this guy in the trailer here. In
Oh, here.
2, 1.
Ron, your signed card goes anywhere inside the middle of the pack. This is, by the way, not the trick where the card comes on top. You've all seen that trick, it's down at the bottom. But we're going to isolate the whole deck inside the card box. So that's the card box. Ron, could you think about a number for me between a 1 and 52?
I'm going for...
Oh, just hold on. Before you say that, I want you to give the deck a couple of cuts. I just forgot it. I just want to make sure that you touch them and you mix them up. So you're totally comfortable with it?
Yes.
So, Ron, are you totally happy with it?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Cool. We're going to place the cards back inside the box. What number did you thought of?
I was going for 5.
5. The 5th card. Now, I can't change the order. Watch. I just take the 5th card from the top. I just place it down here. 1. That's the first card. 2. 3. 4. 5. The 5th card. The 6th card would have been the 6 of spades. 7th card would be the queen. And the 4th card would be the 4 of clubs. Now, you shuffled them.
Yep.
You would name the number freely. Turn over the 5th card.
Wow.
That is your own signed card that you shuffle at your number of your choice. Now, the deck of cards can be examined. The card case can be examined. You're ready, you're set to go again. And this is just one of the tricks that can be done with the deck. Yeah.
There you go,
that's
guys. That is Abandoned. Peter and I were being cheeky and talking about some other tricks that he's been creating while you're watching that. So, yeah, we'll tell you a little bit about that, but can't tell you too much. But Abandoned. So the guys just saw it. Obviously, a great way to do card at number.
The way we show the color change is to show the invisible delivery of the card.
Right.
So when you, from the box, when you take the card from the top, it really is that invisible. So you obviously won't use it as a color change, but we decided to put it in the trailer so the magicians understand how invisible it's not a switch, it's actually the secret delivery of that card is.
Mm-hmm.
Of the 4. Yeah.
Cool. One of the biggest questions that's going to come, Peter, I'll just go ahead and get it out of the way. Is this something that's pre-made, or is there some do-it-yourself work here? People always want to know that these days.
Well, and we know that because we understand that people don't like to do arts and crafts, so we've made the gimmick for them completely.
Sweet.
And the only thing they need to do, because since it's shipped flat, you need to pop up the box and just glue the bottom down.
Right.
But there you go. Then you can just use it as your regular card box. And whenever you feel to it, you can do one of those routines. And it comes with a kind of, I think about 4 or 5 routines.
Sweet.
2 of them being a Arcan routine a card retrieval, and even a rising card thing. I think it's a really clever, cool box gimmick. I never seen this before, and if you saw it, then you think, why didn't I thought of it?
Yep.
That's why I think a lot about things that people show me. So, damn it, probably I would have come up with this. Well, I didn't. So,
Dude, you've come up with a lot of other stuff. You're good. Trust me, you're more than good.
No, what sometimes I think, wow, man, these days people are killing me. They send me videos and demos of things that there seems to be like a whole new era
Yep.
of new people, youngers that are some new era creators, some new generation that that blows my mind as well. And I feel I'm just getting one of the old school magicians. I am an old school magician, but there's coming a whole new, different generation of it. And I'm happy for the magic community, but there's so much tricks come out. I mean, you work at Murphy's. I mean, there is so many tricks coming out every day, right? It's like
maybe.
Maybe.
There's a lot of stuff that comes out. But the problem is, I feel like it's convenient now for people to release stuff because you can literally record something on your phone, put it out as a digital download, or shoot the instructions. It didn't used to be so easy or cheap for people to share their work, whether it was in digital form with a VHS, DVD, or even with a book. It cost a lot of money to produce any of that stuff. Now it's like almost too easy that anybody can just spit out an idea and sell it. So the filter is harder to find these days, which is where I try to talk to people like you to try to filter out the stuff that people should know about. Not to say that what I think is right all the time. My opinion is my opinion, but it's harder these days to find the good stuff. It really is. But it's out there. You just have to look for it,
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah. I was gonna see someone saying, Christopher Parsons saying, piff. Growing magicians need to do more arts and crafts. I can barely tape things together. Who am I kidding? I can never find glue. It is tough, man. I'm in that middle ground where it's like, I think for me it depends on the price point too. If you're going to spend a lot of money on something, I expect it to come pre-made. That's just my own opinion. But if it's like over $40, I feel like $30-$40, it's like I should not just get a piece of string and a magnet or something. I feel like I should get something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
So.
And that's the market these days because they just, it has to work right out of the box. They want to, just press the button and the magic works. That's but that's true. I mean, you don't want to sit down and because a lot of people are not handy in arts and crafts. So especially when you pay, big bucks for it, your hard-earned cash, you want to get something that is a really cool gimmick that works as described and lasts a long time. So that's always a challenge, to make it, selling at a good price point, still offer that quality that you want, that you want them to receive, because that's for me number one. It has to be a nice, good product,
Absolutely. For the generation of people, or maybe they're not just new to this, maybe they've been around it and they're like, you know what? I might have an idea that I'd like to release. Maybe give a little bit of truth. Not that I'm going to downplay that it's a good thing, that it is something that people shouldn't do, but maybe shed a little reality on what creating a trick and producing on the market really is all about. Because some people think, oh, it's glorious. I've got this trick. It's going to make me instantly famous as a magician in the magic world. I'm going to make all this money. And I think that's why a lot of people are rushing to do it, Peter, because they have this impression in their mind. It's like, oh my God, this is the answer now. I'm going to be so famous in the magic world and everyone's going to know who I am. And I feel like people are creating for the wrong reasons. And
I think, yes.
I'd love for you to maybe shed a little light on, not that it's bad, but maybe shed a little reality on what actually goes into it and what your expectations are when it comes to releasing a trick these days.
It is, creating, I do have a family at my home. So I have three children and my office is right here. People always see the glorious side of things, they see your name with the product. And but to come there, all the struggles, all the time that I have fallen. Even the family has to suffer from it, because the frustrations when something doesn't work, and like the globe that you are living in the moment, like the bulb, like I don't like that process, because but it's who I am, and I just create because that's who I am. It's a part of who I can't do anything else. This is just, I'm not doing this for the money. If you want to get rich, we are in the wrong business. You should maybe become a singer, or make a next YouTube hit on wherever you want. But except for Copperfield,
Yeah.
I think this is not the business to make the big bucks in. This is something that it's a labor of love. Of course, I'll be honest, you have to pay the bills, but still I have to perform, go out there and do lots of other things besides the creating part. And it happens because it happens, because I allow myself to be creative, and because I like to create. But the process of designing the gimmicks, it doesn't work, and then do the whole production process of making something come alive, in huge quantities, and then the packaging, the videos. It's always it's a pain to make the videos. It's a pain to get something out there. It really is. It's really a pain to get something out there. But it's who I am, so it's just where my juices flow. But it's not a fun ride. I like when people like what I do, but it is what I do. And even if I don't like it, I would still do it, because it's my way of expressing myself, like a singer sings his songs. You not per se have to like each song, you just, but it still is, it's his feelings, and it's not always fun. And the best songs that are written are the songs where the singer is in trouble, or in a fight, divorce, or then they become the more at mostly the most creative, and they create the most beautiful things, because it comes from a different place, not because of making money.
Right.
No, if you no, that's totally you're way off. If you for a quick buck, then just no. You're
It's
in the wrong
also
business.
such a volatile market. I'm just going to peel back the curtain a little bit here. That even from the producer side of things, and I know that you work very closely with Ron, even when you think you have a banger of a trick, meaning something that you think is going to be like shit hot, that everyone's going to like go nuts over, you really don't know. And that's the other thing about your material, is if you don't have a thick skin and you decide that you want to release something to the marketplace, it's not always going to go as you think it does. And I know you were kind of mentioning that a little bit there, but it's just, I want to really be real about this stuff, guys, because
in the beginning I was really getting insecure about
Sure.
It goes from my youth, but still I'm a really insecure guy, and when I just started releasing some stuff in the beginning, it was like Tim Trono that saw my mail change, and it was many years ago on a Magic Cafe, and he saw that and he said, well, if you have anything that you like to sell, then we would be happy to distribute that for you. And he was at that time working at Murphy's Magic, and then I didn't have anything else, and I thought, well, it would be great if I have, if I would have like a cool routine or a new trick. And that triggered me to be creative, because I had this opening, but I didn't have any other material except for that one color change that I showed on the Magic Cafe. But still, the whole process of showing your baby, I mean, it's something that's really personal. You show it, and people have an opinion about it, and that really hurt sometimes, because I found it very difficult to someone attacking my baby. But then when you get older, you need to understand that it is not a personal attack. It's just because you can't please everybody. I mean, even Gordon Ramsay can't cook for every mouth. No, but that you need to understand. It's not a personal thing. You can't please everybody. As long as you think you're behind it 100% about your product, then it's good to go. But still, and these days I don't care what, I mean, it's not that I don't care. I worry less now what people think about what you do, because if someone has an opinion, it's probably based on their personal experience,
Yeah.
and all I know is that, I tried to make you happy, and I didn't, for some reason didn't make you happy. If it's a factory faulty unit, no problem. We send you a new one. If it's something that's it's not your thing, and I mean, sometimes it's not your cup of tea. It's okay. It's not a personal thing. So now I manage it, and I'm okay. But in the beginning, when you're just releasing stuff and your name is becoming kind of a sort of brand, then everything you put out, you're on a sort of magnifying glass. They pick you out of reviews on, and they say something about you. And I was, at that times I was with a heart in my mouth. I was watching those reviews, and hopefully it was good,
Yeah.
But these days, I just, because I know I do what I love, I hope people love it too.
Absolutely.
And if what they think is what they think, you can't please everybody.
True that.
But you do need a thick skin. If you don't, then because people have an opinion, you're putting up like you're kind of on a stage, and exposing yourself is a very vulnerable place.
Yeah, very much so. Here's a good question from Cosmo Solano. Cosmo's another guy, trader. He's out there. He says, would you agree that there are two types of quote unquote magic tricks? There's the products, one for people who actually perform in the real world, all that good stuff. And that there's also tricks that are just cool toys or gimmicks. Would you agree to that? Or do you think that that's not the case? And we're not talking about your tricks specifically, just in general.
Yeah, well, I think there is certainly a truth in that. But, if you would ask me what I do professionally, it's not that I do every single trick I invented in my professional set. I still do the sponges and, a business card because people love them so much. And of course I do my own stuff, but not everything. I just, a couple of pet tricks. So yeah, I think because if you're creating magic for the market, you need to understand that what the market demands is that sleight of hand doesn't sell in a way that gimmicks does, because it's just a and that's what I've learned with working with Paul Harris, for example. As long as it's a nice gizmo or a nice gimmick, press a button and the magic happens all by itself, and that's the most magical thing that they can have. That sells, but that's understanding the magic market, because sleight of hand, unfortunately, that doesn't sell. So if you want to make a living out of creating magic, you need to understand that what the market demands, what they want, and that is mostly the public these days. It's gimmicks, and it's a nice toy gimmick because they pay for something, they want to receive something. Yeah. But it's not per se that I would do. Of course, I do a couple of things like Sharpie and Ghost Tag.
Yep.
But I'm not sure if people have the intention to release the tricks, especially for that market. I know that if you if you want to survive the market, you need to have something that is easy to do, that everybody can do, that is not too expensive, that it has a nice toy factor to it, like a gimmick, and then you have a potential a home run. But it's just the market. Yeah.
Hope you guys are taking notes on that too, because that's what he just said is it's pretty bang on. I mean, Peter knows the market. I see the market from two sides, from the inside and from the outside. What he's saying is absolutely true about the stuff that we've seen that sell well to the magic shop. So if you are a creator, would you mind saying a couple of those again? Because I think people should really hear this if they're thinking of releasing material. These are the things that even Murphy's as a company is looking for when we produce products for other people. Would you mind kind of just one or two of those, just highlight them once again? Because I really want people to hear that loud and clear.
Well, yeah, it's what the market these days. I mean, and I've worked with Paul Harris and I've learned from him as well about that.
Sure.
Is that it has to be, if you want to survive on this market, you just have some tricks that really do well you sell a couple, but you don't sell a lot, and
Yeah.
every day there's new tricks, and then maybe a good trick survives for 1-2 months, and then you need another trick to come out. So
Yeah.
a good trick for me survives maybe a few months, and then I need something else
Yeah.
to to survive. But what it needs is, it has to be very easy to do for
Easy.
people. Everybody,
Yes.
very easy to do, because everybody, even the armchair hobbyist, it has to work right off the packaging. No setup, no building. It's easy to do.
Yep.
It has to be super visual,
Visual.
and
Yep.
it has to be preferably a nice gizmo toy gimmick that
Yep.
that is really, it's just press a button and the magic happens all by itself. So they can show to their
Yep.
friends in school, at the bar, at the soccer club, or anywhere when they want to go.
Yep.
If you hit those tick boxes, then you have a potential home run, like a
And
good
I
effect. So
appreciate you saying that again, because that for me is the gold of this whole chat. People want to know how to do what you do. I mean, you had a home run at the
Yeah.
beginning of this year with CTC Project. That was
but
a
I
huge.
failed so many times. I just had some good tricks, but never had this thing. And then I just and that's the price for working for so many years, for
Yeah.
15 plus years on this. And then sometimes you just have a home run, and still after that, it boils down, and after a few months, you have to come up with something new if you want to make a living out of creating magic.
Yep.
It's not that I can earn magic and I can buy a house from a coin to can trick. No, I have to still work hard and come up with something else that I think did. And I showed you the first video of it like a month ago or something.
Oh, it's
or 2
great,
months
dude.
ago.
It is good. Yeah.
It's going to be a Murphy's exclusive, and I think it's in the same realm
Oh, it is.
of CTC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
So-
without giving away too much, I've looked at Peter's next thing. I don't know if we have a date yet. I don't know how early in 2020. But
It should
good.
be in like hopefully not just Blackpool, but maybe like springtime, early spring.
cool.
Yeah, and maybe
we've-
sooner.
We've we've got our team excited about that. It's going to be a featured item through us. So Peter is quietly behind the scenes, still creating and working on stuff when he's not consulting and doing all
Yeah.
the other stuff and having a family and all that fun stuff too. So, he's a super busy guy, which again is another reason I'm so thankful that you spent some time with us here as we start to wrap up. I know that there's so many more questions people probably have about this stuff. I'd like for you to sum all this up when it comes to the creating, and if people are thinking about either jumping into that or into the consulting world, magic consulting, what's kind of some general advice you would drop on people that see what you've done or what you're doing and go, you know what, I want to do that. I had a great chat recently with a guy named Rob Anderson. We did a whole chat about making money with magic, which was a lot of fun because people want to know, I've got these tricks, I've practiced them, but what's something I can do now to get started doing that? So with you, what would you say is something that you could tell someone today, if you start doing this, this is what I would recommend you do if you want to start being a creator or a magic consultant? What's that one, if there is one thing, piece of advice you'd go, you need to do this or try this?
Well, first of all, you have to make sure it comes from a place inside yourself.
Yep.
So you have to do it from the right reasons. I think you only survive if you are genuine and authentic, and that goes as a performer as well as being a creator or anything you do, whether it's consulting or is making music. But you have to be authentic. You have to be real, and people feel that. So no matter whatever you touch, as long as you are real about it and authentic, then it comes from the right place.
Yep.
And people feel that. So everything you do is then 100% real. You're not trying to be someone else or doing something you don't want to be or you can be. And for the rest, it's like it depends on what you want. If your goal is to making a lot of money, then except for a few people, I think you don't should go into the magic business in the way of if you want to be a millionaire. I think Copperfield is like an exception, but
Just a little bit, yeah.
you have to do it from the love of this, and of course, if you was just have your bills paid, and happy with that, it's good. But whatever you do, it has to come from the right place, and you have to be genuine.
Well said.
That's the most thing I do. And for the rest, I never was intended to be creator. I never intended to be, I don't even, well, I don't want to become rich, but I think I am rich. It's very cliche, but as long as you're healthy and your family is doing well,
yep,
and you can provide them, that was my goal. And that is, another thing. What is success? I mean, for me, being successful is to be able to do what you love to do every day. I know people around me, they go to the
yep,
jobs from 9 to 5. They're doing it because they just have to do it because they have to pay the rent.
mm-hmm.
But if you ask them what they really wanted to do in their lives, they don't have the balls to walk the line, to do the things that we do. And if I die tomorrow, I can say that I've done everything my way, the way how I want it to be.
Yeah.
And that is, if you can say that, then you're happy. I'm happy.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with money. It's about something that comes from inside of you. Positive energy.
Well said.
And
well said. And again, I don't want this coming across the wrong way. I'm not trying to discourage anybody from doing anything or trying anything.
No.
We
Please
just
stop.
want you to know what you should really set yourself up for or manage those expectations.
Stand behind what you do,
yeah,
and believe it. And
Absolutely.
I think that's important.
Yeah. Well, again, guys, this is an effect that we were talking about earlier. If you haven't checked it out yet, Dennis was actually here in the chat on YouTube. You guys should definitely check it out. We showed the trailer earlier. If you haven't seen it, definitely have a look at it. Peter Eggink is on the trailer, has some input creatively on this project as well. And he's got some other, I think we lost Peter for a second. And it's also got some other thoughts and stuff from Peter. And I think Ron, I think all of you guys have kind of teamed up and shared your input on that. So Abandoned is out there, guys. Again, today's chat is not meant to be, there's Peter. It's not meant to be product centric today. But I think it's a disservice to Peter and Dennis actually to not talk about it because it is a nice effect and it's not a do-it-yourself thing. So it's a win-win. So there you go. And if you are just joining us, you can watch this back later. A lot of little nuggets were dropped here from Peter about creating magic, being a magic consultant, what to expect on both sides of that. And Peter's one of the nicest, genuine guys around. I've had the pleasure of knowing Peter for, it's got to be at least 15 years, dude. It's got to be at least 15. I think we're losing his camera there. Can you still hear me? Oh, we lost his audio. Okay. Well, I guess I'll let Peter start to wrap up here. I was going to give a shout out to him. We'll bring him in one more time. There we go. Catch you later, man. Thank you, Peter. Appreciate it, man. All right. It's pretty good timing anyway, because we were wrapping up. Again, guys, creating magic. If you got more questions about it, you can always drop comments there for us. And if you have questions about being a magic consultant, Peter's done it. I've done it. There's a lot of truth about it that you should know about, but it's also a lot of fun. Just be prepared to work hard to do it. And the same goes for creating your own magic. Speaking of magic, next week we'll be back again, but in a different way. I've got a pre-recorded thing I'm going to be having ready for you on Christmas Day. I'm going to schedule it up. There will be a little freebie from me to you, a little gift from me to you. So if you are out there and you like free magic, check it out sometime during Christmas break. Not saying to take your Christmas Day and make it about us, but there is a gift for you waiting next Wednesday from me and the team to you. It's something that I'm proud to offer you. So that'll be popping up next Wednesday. Speaking of which, I guess I should go ahead and wish everybody out there a Merry Christmas. I can't believe next Wednesday is Christmas Day. The year just flew on by. It really did fly on by. So Merry Christmas to all you guys and gals. And if you are out there traveling, be safe on the roads and the planes and all that good stuff. And I hope you get what you want for Christmas. But for me, what I'm wanting is definitely family, friends, and just being healthy. Can't ask for much more than that. If you got that, you are the richest person around. So anyway, thank you guys for hanging out. Thanks for Peter for joining me late. It is almost 10 o'clock at night, and it is after 10 o'clock. in Holland. So thanks to Peter and all you guys out there. We appreciate you. And if you haven't yet, turn on your live notifications. I think I have this still here. I was going to remind you at the top, if you're on your phone, if you're on Facebook, click the 3 little dots at the top, and you can have a little thing that drops down for live notifications right there. Make sure you do turn those on. We do go live every week. We're doing a lot more live stuff in 2020. There's also now a little drop down thing on the Facebook mobile app that says at the bottom, turn on notifications, live notifications. That's the important part. I had some friends yesterday watching saying, Luke, I've got my notifications turned on, but I didn't see the live pop up. You got to have your live notifications turned on. That's the difference. So just so you know, those are a couple little tips for you. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Thank you guys for hanging out. And Merry Christmas to all of you out there around the world. All right. We will catch you next time. Merry Christmas. Yes, yes.